Hi, welcome to this course on DataMiner Augmented Operations. My name is Tobe de Bree and my colleague here is Dennis Dresden, and we are both part of the analytics team at Skyline Communications, which is in turn part of the data core domain. And we too will guide you through this course on DataMiner Augmented Operations. So Dennis, to start, can you tell us a bit more about the topic? What kind of things will we be talking about?
Yeah, definitely. So in 2014, Skyline founded a new research team, the DataMiner Analytics team, as it's called internally. And this team is constantly focusing on machine learning and AI techniques. So we're constantly collaborating with research partners and universities around the world to really make sure that we keep up to date with the most recent AI and machine learning developments. Now, over the last 10 years, this team has developed quite a lot of features. It has introduced quite a lot of features in the core software. And that's the topic of this course.
All right. And why is that important to me as a DataMiner user? Why should I need to learn about this?
That's a question I get a lot. And in fact, it's a general question for AI as well. If you think about ChatGPT, I still know people that do not want to use it out of principle. But yeah, you should start using it, right? I mean, to be competitive, your competitors are using it. It makes you so much more efficient. And it's better to start soon so that you can grow along with it while it develops. The same is true here. But more specifically then for the network management, you see a few trends that are really obvious. If you compare network monitoring with now with 15 years ago, you really see big differences. Yeah. For example, the amount of data that's being monitored, that has grown exponentially. So the AI techniques allow you to have better insights in that data. Like, for example, say that you can monitor 10 times more data. Well, as a human, as a user, you cannot keep track of all those parameters. So you're going to have to aggregate those parameters and stuff. But an AI doesn't have this problem. It can really look at the data on a much finer level, right? So that's one reason that AI can be useful. Another typical trend we see is the fact that network management is becoming more and more complex. For example, one day a device is performing function A, and the next day it's performing a completely different function. Right. Moreover, one day it's receiving input from device A, and the next day it's receiving input from a completely different device. So the networks are becoming more and more dynamic. The interconnectedness is constantly changing. And to keep track of what's happening at every given moment, you really need that AI to help you out. And finally, there's the fact that the classic way of alarm configuration, where you say, okay, if a parameter exceeds 1000, you have an alarm.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't seem to cut it anymore. The thing is, one day your device is performing function A, the next day it's performing function B. So the thresholds probably have to change from case to case. Maybe you also want to have an alarm on A only if parameter B also has issues or something like this. So again, this complexity, this interconnectedness, those are really reasons that you should use AI, use those tools to make life easier.
All right, great. Are there any specific focus areas of augmented operations?
Yeah, actually, since the beginning, we've been focusing on two main directions. There's the proactive monitoring and the reactive monitoring. The proactive monitoring is all about preventing issues before they happen, before they become critical at least. So for example, assume you look at your network, you predict how the network is going to behave in the future. And when you see an issue, you report it.
Yeah.
That's an example, and that ties in directly with our proactive gap detection functionality. Another example, you monitor your parameters and you're able to detect a very subtle change on a parameter. That can be important because it can be an early warning sign that something is going to go wrong, right? That ties in directly with anomaly detection. It's also a way of detecting issues before they become critical.
Yeah.
On the other hand, you have the reactive part. And the reactive part is really about reducing your problem resolution time. When you have a problem, what you don't want is an alarm console full of clutter or alarms that are not useful. Yeah. That's why we introduced the alarm focus. That's a spam filter, basically, and it allows you to suppress alarms that are not important at this moment.
All right.
Another thing that's interesting here is the incident tracking. Here, we're going to try to group together alarms that are related to the same root cause, which can also be very interesting. And there's much more that you will see later in this course.
All right, great. Is there anything specific that I need as user? Is there like a special system that I need? Do I need to configure stuff? Do I need to install external programs?
Well, to play around with this, well, actually in general, you don't really need a lot.
Okay.
Most of the features are just part of the DataMiner core software package. You need a database for trend data, so Cassandra or Stas. And that's basically it for most features. There are some more advanced features that require a bit more, like Elastic, an indexing database, or you use Stas. Or some features need the cloud because they require so much computation that we do not want to do that on your system.
Okay.
So yeah, those would require a DataMiner services subscription.
Yeah. And you don't need to configure your system in a specific way?
That's an excellent question. The thing is, the thing you need most is a clean system.
Okay.
I think that's the bottom line of everything, right? So if you don't have a clean system, you have the saying which says garbage in, garbage out, right? Well, it's the same here. So what are things you need to be careful about? Well, if you want to learn the behavior or understand the behavior of a parameter, you need to make sure that DataMiner can access the data of all the related parameters as well, for example. Else you cannot give a good model for that, right? So that's one thing you should be careful about. Make sure that your system is clean. And fortunately, DataMiner already kind of forces you to do that because the AI is using element information, which is structured in a nice way. It's using service information, which is structured. It uses the trend data, which is structured in a nice way. So DataMiner already kind of makes sure that this happens, but keep it clean.
All right. Yeah. And then specifically about this course, what's the structure of this course, and do you need to install something to follow along?
Actually, it can be interesting to install a DAS system, because that way you have a nice and clean system that you can play around with and you can get to know the features.
All right.
During the course, we will show a few demos on Zine. That's a demo system that you can access yourself as well. Just check on the docs how you can do that. You can request access. It's no problem. Right. Apart from that, we've prepared some a package on the catalog.
All right.
And you can download that and you will get all kinds of elements on your system so you can follow along.
Maybe you can show it.
That's a good idea. Let me quickly show you. So here we are on the dataminer.services page.
Yeah.
So I'm going to dive into the catalog and I'm going to type in DataMiner Augmented Operations course.
Yes, that's the name of the course.
That's the name of the package. Voila.
Yeah.
You click it and then it's peanuts. You just hit deploy. You select your DataMiner system. It's deployed and you're good to go.
All right. So that's it for setting up what you need. Once you have that, you can jump right in. So enjoy the course and see you in the next video.